Hey yo, $5 Friday here on Uncle JoJo's house. Dollar a day lottery scratching. The lighting's different than it usually is. I'm not sure what's going on. You can tell that the fan's running, I guess. What do we got? A new ticket in the money. I actually did one of these. I didn't record it and I won 10 bucks. So if I lose on this, I'm even. Turn the 1046 down here. Sorry about that. Police scanner. So today is Friday the 13th. Zoom in on this a little bit. And I saw a bunch of posts today about how it's something to do with women's 13 cycles a year, so it's actually lucky. Never heard of that before this morning, but I've seen it 4 or 5 times now, so who am I to argue with what's on the internet? 31, 27, 1, 7, and 9. Well, 7's a lucky number, right? And 13, that's a 13 backwards. So maybe we got some luck here. But of course, Friday the 13th, to me, is the horror franchise. I don't know, when did the first one come out? 79? 77? I don't know. But they've kept it going and pretty popular. Changed a lot since the first one, where it wasn't really Jason, it was a killer, if you remember your lore from the Scream movie. Jason's mom was the killer, and then Jason jumped up at the end, and the kid that played Jason in that movie now has some band and thinks he's a big shot or something. Ari Lehman, is that his name? Anyway, I've seen him at a bunch of these cons I go to, and people will have him sign a Jason mask. Okay. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But oh well, we're still losing here. I think it's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street, my favorite horror franchise. After the first couple, it kind of starts to blend together quite a bit. I couldn't tell you what happened in 5, 6, or 7. I know 7, I believe, at the beginning of that, the lake he's sunk in gets struck by lightning and brings him back to life. And 8, I believe I actually went to the theater to see that, which I was making a comment on Beetlejuice post the other day. Someone was asking if it was okay if they took their 8-year-old to that, or their 6-year-old or something, some young number. The movie's rated PG-13, but anyway, I commented, well, I went to see the original Beetlejuice when it came out, and I was 10, but of course that was the 80s, and the 80s were pretty wild. So I know Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th, Part 8, came out in the 80s, and I'm pretty sure I went to the movies to see it. Pretty sure without an adult. So the 80s were a wild time, and that movie was pretty wild too. And then it just keeps getting crazier. More of these franchises wear on. Oh, I lost on that ticket, unless I missed something because I ramble too much. But then they had Jason Goes to Hell. That was okay. And then Jason X, where he's in space. It was okay, but I mean, pretty ridiculous. They did that with Leprechaun too. Anytime they're going to space, franchise needs freshened up a little bit. Let's see what we got here. This is another new ticket, Cash Blast. Need a 25 or a 27 or one of these symbols to do something. So then they had Freddy vs. Jason, which, again, I liked that movie, but they knocked Jason out with a sedative, which I don't think would work. Then they throw him in the back of a van, and they take off to Crystal Lake, which is ironically, after all these years of these two franchises existing separately, they brought them together. They're only 50 miles apart, apparently, because they're flying down the road and they're like, Crystal Lake, 50 miles. Like, oh, I didn't know like Springwood was, just 50 miles from Crystal Lake. That's pretty unlucky area. I wonder how far Haddonfield is from there. Anyway, Friday the 13th, I don't think it's ever been unlucky to me or anyone I know. But these tickets are being unlucky. There's another 7. Last chance. Pretty close. 28 out of 27. Total wipeout tonight, folks. Like and subscribe. Comment. Comment is really important in liking. And if you would be so kind to share it and say, look at this idiot that rambles scratching lottery tickets. All that is going to help get me somewhere on this. I need 1,200 watch hours till I can actually get paid by YouTube. So help me out. Have a good weekend.